talk to me about, Kamal, talk to me, if you would, about why you love Islam and why you love the United States. And how do you put those two things together as a Muslim? As a non-Muslim asking you that question, I would like to hear how you answer.
Well, I love Islam because Islam is a religion of peace. It's actually very sensitive to the poor and the needy, which is my nature. I love to help the people. I love to help the poor and the needy in every way I can. And also, United States has similar things, which is the system that they have. They are, fair. Nobody is above the law. In Islam, there is nobody above the law. If somebody abuses somebody, they can file a complaint. They can go through the system, and they can get what they're entitled to. And that's, I find Islam and the United States have a lot of common things. That's why I love both. And I keep saying to myself, in business, I apply the American way. In relationship, I apply the Islamic way. And I take both of them, and both of them together, they make a perfect system.
Interesting. So you see your private and the Ummah that you belong to here in the United States, the community of Muslims, at one level you feel that functions well for you on a personal level, and then when you're out and about in the world, outside of your community, I
don't hide my identity.
Yes.
So I make sure that everybody knows who I am. And I had in my life, I worked for big corporations. I was a branch manager one time for a finance company called Household Finance. And we had a very big fancy party where a lot of people are drinking. And the CEO of a company that is $20 billion asset at that time in 1988, 89. And when he offered me a drink, and I told him I'm a Muslim, I don't drink. He respected that.
Okay.
He didn't have a problem. There was no conflict.
Well, let's address that issue of alcohol and Islam. Muslims don't drink alcohol. I assume that what do you drink? Are there any other liquid restrictions in your diet?
Anything you can drink, anything that doesn't have alcohol.
Okay.
Anything, Islam.
So you can drink soda.
Yeah, you can drink soda. You can drink tea. You can drink coffee. Anything that makes you lose your mind is prohibited.
Understood.
And the reason why, because it distracts your family. Because when you're drunk, you could be stealing. You could be abusing people. You could be killing people. You could be abusing your own family. So losing your mind, or temporary insanity, that leads as a result of alcohol. That's why Islam prohibiting that.
Well, then that would lead into another interesting question. What do you see as Islam's relationship to reason and science? Because if you're not going to drink alcohol and
they don't conflict.
Yes. Okay. So let's hear what you would say.
Islam and reason, they don't have conflict. Everything that came for prohibiting, Islam has the answer for it. It tells you why is it no. Why we don't eat pork. Why certain things in Islam is not has been proven by scientists to be the healthy way.
Okay. So tell us real briefly why the Quran says you shouldn't eat pork.
Shouldn't eat pork because pork has a worm inside that no matter how much of a temperature you cook it under, still that worm will not die.
Okay, so is that in the Quran or is that in a hadith? Where is that
instruction? Interpretation of the scholars.
Of the scholars.
Yes.
Okay, understood. And are there any other restrictions on diet? Like, can you eat shellfish or what?
Anything from the sea we can eat.
Okay.
It's written in the Quran clear. Anything from the sea you can eat.
Okay. And so the main restrictions are pork and...
Pork, you cannot eat anything with the hoof like horse or like a dog or anything that is wild like a lion or tiger.
Understood. Okay.
Those are prohibited.
And cows are okay?
Cows are okay.
Cows are okay. All right.
Those animals, because they are a flesh-eating animal, you're not supposed to eat them.
Now, what is, I don't recall the actual word, but is it halal?
Halal.
Okay.
Halal is like
Yes.
allowed or kosher.
Okay. So what constitutes halal when, in other words, can you go to a McDonald's, or can you go to a tradition, a traditional fast food
That's
restaurant?
an interesting question. There is some scholars, they will say you cannot eat. It's like an interpretation of any book in any religion.
Yes.
Some people will interpret it all the way to the right. Some people will interpret it all the way to the left.
Uh-huh.
And I like to go in the middle.
Okay.
So some scholars said absolutely not, you cannot eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, you know what, if you cannot find it as halal and you have to eat it, then you can eat it by naming the name of Allah, saying Bismillah, and you eat it.
Okay.
But if you have the choice not to eat it, then eat something else.
Understood.